Yeah, Mr. Lopez, let's get started. It's 4:03, and I see about 84 participants in the space. 84 of our students.
All right, cool. So I'm happy to see that. So hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Mr. Lopez. I'm the 9th and 10th grade counselor. So I want to be the first to welcome you, the class of 2023 and the class of 2024. With us here, we have some counselors, which I'll be sharing this space with, and then asking them to give a little welcome speech here in a moment. But first, again, I just want to say thank you for participating and joining us on this Thursday evening. We are excited to start the new school year next week, and we are super happy and excited to have you here today. So just some quick housekeeping information. So we are using Zoom. We're going to ask that if you have any questions that you utilize that box in the middle of the center of your screen towards the bottom where it says chat. Please make sure or ask any questions there. You can put them in English or Spanish, and we're going to make sure that we answer those throughout the presentation, and at sometimes we'll ask and stop just to make sure that we all have the information. So, are we doing it in Spanish too, Ms. B?
We don't have
We're
to. We can,
translating?
yeah, no,
Okay.
we can just go ahead and, Nacho, I can't see you, but you can see us, which is
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm also going to ask for Zoom to make sure that you are on mute. Make sure that you have the sound off. And if you want to ask a question, please go ahead and unmute yourself. And then we'll stop and we'll answer that question as we're presenting. And then also you can raise your hand. It is hard for us to see. Miss B, Miss Kyle, Art, and I are going to do our best. And then if you lift your finger or lift that, you can actually get our attention. And there's also a way on Zoom where you can raise a little hand. And again, we'll make sure that we stop as we see those to answer those questions.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the best thing to do is to just type in your question in the chat box, and we'll get to it.
All right.
All right.
All right, so this is our counseling team. This year, it looks just a little bit different, and we'll be sharing a little bit more information during the presentation. But this is our awesome counseling team. You see on the far left, Mrs. Donia Ramirez. She's taking on the role of 11th and 12th grade counselor, meeting with students in those grade levels. We also have Miss Roxanne, who teaches senior seminar and also has her counseling credential, and we count on her to turn or wear that cap many times. So that is Miss Roxanne. She is, again, has a credential in counseling. She teaches senior SEM, and she's a wonderful person. And we tap her in a lot because she's great and she's a wonderful counselor. That handsome fellow there with the sweet, sweet eyes and the cool haircut there is me, Mr. Lopez. So again, welcome everybody. I am your 9th and 10th grade counselor, so I'm excited to continue to support. And for those new students that I met during summer bridge, I'm looking forward to learning more and more about you and learning about your story. And then there on the far right is Miss Kyle. She is our amazing counselor. She's also the 504 coordinator, and she's here with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and tap her in really quick so she can give you a quick greeting and a warm welcome real quick.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Alex. Mr. Lopez, sorry. Sorry, used to calling you by your first name, but we'll be professional. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to get an opportunity to introduce myself. Since I didn't get to for you 9th graders during summer bridge. Yes, I'm Carrie Kyle. I'm one of the counselors. You definitely get to go to Mr. Lopez for your any academic needs, emotional needs, whatever it is, but I'm also an option. So I just want you to know that. And welcome back to all you 10th graders on here. We miss you.
Thank you, Ms. Kyle.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Kyle. And then I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I am Ms. Bañuelos. I'm one of your assistant principals. I work really closely with our counselors to make the magic happen on our campus. And then you'll see Mrs. Faviero on there as well. She's your principal. And then Ms. White, who works with our teachers and helps them build their curriculum and helps them plan out their instruction for the year. So we are your admin on our campus. And once again, if you have any questions about what's happening at our school, just call the front office and we will be happy to support you and answer your questions. Mr. Lopez, I'm gonna jump in. I already have one question on here that's kind of relevant. When will we get our schedules? So if you're a 10th grader, you probably came to campus today to pick up your schedule, your PowerSchool login information, and a textbook. So 10th graders came to campus today, and they were able to pick up their textbooks from 11 to about 2:30 p.m. today. If you're a 9th grader, you will get your schedule tomorrow. So same time, 11 o'clock to about 2 o'clock, 2:30. That's when you can come and pick up your paper schedule, any textbooks that you might need, and school supplies. And then if you log on to PowerSchool, you should be able to take a look at your schedule on Monday and probably this weekend, to tell you the truth. But yeah, you should have already picked up your schedules if you're a 10th grader. And if you haven't, just stop by tomorrow and we will take care of that. We're really excited to spend some time with you today. I'm really happy that we have about 100 participants or 100 folks on this town hall, and it's just a really exciting time to be able to tell you that we are starting school on Monday. So on Monday, we will have our advisory meetings with our families and your advisor, and you're gonna get more information as to what the school year looks like. And then on Tuesday, it's your first day of live classes. So unfortunately, we cannot come to campus and partake in the regular kind of school that we're used to. We're not going to be on campus. We still have to be closed down, but we will continue our schooling through Zoom and a virtual platform. So first thing I want to go over is on this slide, you'll be able to see that we have asynchronous and synchronous. And you might have heard these two terms been thrown around these last few weeks as you're hearing about people, folks, administration, teachers talk about going back to school. Bottom line, I'm going to start off with asynchronous. Asynchronous, if you're going to do school in an asynchronous way, it means that you are independently doing school, that you are completing the lessons, the homework, the assignments on your own time, whether that's 2 p.m. or 10 p.m. at night. And the due dates are posted, and you just have to submit the assignments and the homework before the due date. And those assignments do count for a grade or for participation. Asynchronous is what we did last semester. Most of your teachers assigned assignments or projects. They gave you a due date, and then they also paired it with a video, like a 5-10 minute video, so that they can help explain the expectations. This fall, we're going to lean more on a synchronous model, the second option that you see here. This fall, we've had some time to prepare for our students. Our teachers have had some time to prepare to welcome you back to our school community, and we're ready to have live classes with you. We know that it's really, really, really important that you get to see each other. We know that it's really important that you get to have fun in these live settings and also learn and get better at math, get better at English, get better in science, history. It's really important that during this critical time, this pandemic, that we are together in a live space. And that's what we miss most about last semester. That's what we miss most about right now, is that we don't really get to interact with you unless we invite you to a Zoom meeting. So that's how we're gonna start doing classes from here on out. So you will get your Zoom links. Okay, you will get your Zoom links for your classes on Monday when you attend your advisory meeting. Attendance is taken, so that we have to take attendance, because that's how we're gonna continue receiving funding, money to stay open, right? So please, I'll see you on Monday with your advisory teacher. And then on Tuesday, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And you should see the schedule on here. On Tuesday, we're gonna get started and we're gonna jump into period 1 on Tuesday. So ignore the Monday, because Monday is just an advisory day. You're checking in with your advisory teacher. But on Tuesday, we're gonna jump into period 1, period 3, a break, and then period 5. Okay, so take a few seconds to look at the schedule. The green boxes mean that you will log in to your Chromebook, and you will click on a Zoom link, and then it's going to take you to a Zoom meeting just like you did today. So if you were able to click on a Zoom link, then you will be fine on Tuesday, and you're going to be able to jump right into class on Tuesday morning. Something to note here is that we only have room for 6 classes. So you'll see that you have period 1, 3, 5, and then period 2, 4, 6. So we are not taking on the 7 classes that we usually take on. We're taking on 6 classes, okay? We decided to do that so that we can focus on the 6 classes that we need. Also, another thing to note is that we start school at 9 a.m. Okay, so we're no longer starting at 8 a.m. So that might be a good thing for most of us, that we get an extra hour to either sleep in, work out, or just kind of relax until you have to jump in at 9 a.m. I know some of you will probably end up doing homework at 8:30, 8:35, 8:37, so that you can jump into your first or second period of class. Another thing to note, and this is really cool, is that you're done with your school day at 1:50. Most of you will be done at 1:50. We might have office hours in the afternoons. We're gonna have some student clubs. We're gonna have some spaces for you to receive more support with your classes, but for the most part, our live classes finish at 1:50. This just means that from 2 o'clock to about 4:30, that might be homework time for some of you, especially if you're taking an AP class. Now, here's my favorite thing, and I was talking to Ethan this morning about the Friday schedule. On Friday, because in the state of California, they told us that students have to have a live meeting with teachers, with staff members every single day of the week. On Friday, we decided to not hold any academic classes, but just have an advisory check-in period. So we're asking you to hang out with us for about 45 minutes on Friday morning. Jump in. If you're still in your PJs and you haven't brushed your teeth, that's completely fine. And then when you're done with advisory, and you can go to office hours if you like, and if you're done with office hours, or you decide not to go to office hours, you're done with the day. It's your opportunity for the rest of the day to catch up on any missed assignments, any late work, and then you get to just chill, and then we get to see you back on Monday morning. Okay, so I hope that you like this schedule. We worked really hard on it to make sure that we're taking care of your needs, we're taking care of what the state is telling us to do, and we're keeping everyone safe, our staff members, our families, and our students. Mr. Lopez is going to jump in to go over some distance learning tips and some advice, and then we're going to take a few questions and then continue on with the presentation.
Thank you, Ms. P. So we're going to go over this slide for best practices for distance learning. So one of the key important things is this change, right? Like, we're online, we're on the computer. Many of you might be on your phone, might be on your tablet, or watching your favorite Netflix show. So one of the things that we're going to remind students is to make sure that you're also taking a break from screen time. It's hard to see on here, but what it says there on the left-hand side is that you have to take some breaks, a couple minutes each hour. When you're on Zoom, you see that Ms. B just said that we're going to have that lunch. It's going to be important to, like, lower your screen, step away from the screen, and make sure that you're caring for yourself, making sure that before you go to sleep, you're giving yourself an hour and not going from your screen to bed. You want to make sure that you're limiting that screen time or taking those breaks, just so that you don't have so much time on the screen. It affects your eyes, it affects your focus. So we want to make sure that you're being mindful of that. Also, time management. We learned during the first school distance learning that some students had some really unique schedules. Some students were staying up way too late in the wee hours and waking up in the afternoon. But since we are now on synchronous learning, and as Ms. B said, we're starting at 9 a.m., we want to make sure that once school starts, we're putting ourselves back into a healthier, more effective time schedule. So maybe that requires you to go to bed at a certain time. Maybe you're working on certain classes and doing homework and on social media, or doing your fun self-care, taking care of yourself at certain times, but it's going to require you to manage your time effectively. Maybe you're using certain times to do homework, to reach out, and then maybe you're using some times to watch Netflix or do something fun for yourself. Also, on the right, you'll see it's important to ask for help. Now, this is the first time that we're all going through this, so we are learning as we're going, and we're also trying to do our best to support, and only through us being working together are we going to be able to get through this. So one of the things that I'm going to encourage you all to do is to reach out to your teachers as much as you can. Fridays will be designated for advisory, as you saw on the schedule. So make sure that you're using that time to reach out, to ask questions. A lot of times students during, the original distance learning were going weeks and weeks without sending their teacher emails or not knowing exactly what was going on. So we want to challenge you. We want you to say, hey, like, check in with your teachers. If not, check in with your counselor. We want to make sure that you're checking in and that you have that communication between your teachers. We're going to also ask parents to do that on Monday during conferences. We're going to also show them how they can be in contact with their teachers as well. And then on the right, you see make downtime. It is important to take care of ourselves, just as I mentioned. It's important to like watch that show. It's important to like read that book. It's important to like check out, I don't know, talk about the cheese man with your friends or just send a text. That connection that we miss so much, that human connection. We are fortunate enough to have technology right now where we can communicate this way. I've seen a lot of cool celebrations and a lot of cool things online and via Zoom and Google Meet, on FaceTime. So we're just going to ask that you take some time for yourself. Also, eating healthy, working out, doing something for yourself that's going to help you recharge your battery. And it's hashtag self-care. So your counselors and your teachers are always going to ask you to recharge that battery. And just like your phone, I have an iPhone and I use it for, you know, half the day and then I got to plug it in, right? That's the same thing. Our bodies, we need to make sure that we recharge so that we're ready for the next tasks. Next slide, please. All right, cool. And then this one here has some cool images on the importance of connecting with our community. And even though we're separated, we are together. And again, we're all in this together. And I want to make sure that you feel that support. You're at a school that is small, but one of the things that we do a fantastic job is to make sure that we have that community. We give you that love, that support. We're going to be with you throughout this pandemic. We want to make sure that we're building community. We can't wait till this is over, but for the meantime, we're going to do the best. One of the things that it says there is to step out of your comfort zone. For me, one of the things is of stepping out of my comfort zone is to make sure that my camera is not covered and it's actually on. So I did my hair this morning, so I hope it looks good, but I want to show that to all of y'all. But stepping out of your comfort zone is going to be really important in your advisory group. Some of you might be playing some cool games. Even though it's online, it is going to be important to say, hey, you know what, like this is something new, something different. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to try it out. And that's going to require us to step out of our comfort zones. The other thing too is when you start a new school year, last year we actually started semester 1 on site. This year we're starting on distance learning. So again, that's going to require you to say, hey, I'm going to send that email. I don't really like to talk to my teacher, but I'm going to ask those questions. I'm going to go to office hours and we're starting with a blank slate. So if you didn't do so well last year or on distance learning, I'm going to challenge you to say, hey, like, we know what it looks like. Go ahead and ask those questions, and your teachers, all our teachers are wonderful and are good at what they do. So don't be afraid to reach out to them. Also, we want to encourage you to participate. One of the things that you're going to be doing on Fridays is you're going to be doing a lot of community building with your advisories. When I did Summer Bridge this year with the counselors, one of the things that we did is we gave the students tools and fun games to play. I saw Loteria, I saw scavenger hunts. I saw a lot of cool things. As young people, y'all can do some really cool things with technology. I'm hoping that you're willing to do that and willing to learn new ways to use technology and participate in your advisory groups. Now more than ever, like, we need one another. And I think that's a cool space and a cool opportunity to rely on the people that care about you, the people that know you. And for the incoming freshmen, we've been doing that this summer. So I'm hoping that you've met at least somebody, one person new that you didn't know before, and that you feel comfortable working with mentors and working with your teacher. College, again, we are a college prep high school. The rigorous courses that we have are going to continue even though they're online. We want to make sure that we are preparing you for life after high school, that we are preparing you for your post-secondary goals. And again, you saw the schedule, what it looks like. It is manageable. So again, we want to encourage you to do your best. We still have the same grades, so 70% or higher is passing. Anything below that is not passing. So again, we want to continue to make sure that we are setting you up to be successful after high school and going on to those 4-year schools. And even though we're doing this through Zoom, we want to make sure that you're still getting well-rounded, excellent education. And again, we do that great at ECHS. And then you'll see there too, our Instagram page, what's happening in ECHS. I was able to share that with some with our students during Summer Bridge. There's a lot of cool happenings. If you haven't had a time to look at that, go on our website and you can see and we're posting, we're in touch with our community, and we're making sure that we are continuing to share and show love for our campus.
Mr. Lopez, we're going to take just a few seconds to remind students that if they have questions on your dashboard, go ahead and click on the Q&A button and type in your question there. It's a little difficult to keep up with questions in the chat box, but feel free to use the chat box to say hi to each other. But if you have a question, click on the Q&A button. A few of you are asking what time our advisory meetings on Monday. We have a 9 a.m. meeting. So 9 a.m. and then a 6 p.m. meeting. So one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And yes, you do have to attend because this is where you're going to get really critical information for Tuesday and the rest of the week, like your Zoom links, for example, so that you can attend live class on Tuesday morning. If for some reason your parent cannot be there, I want you as a student to jump in, okay? But parents or family members, we're hoping that they can join in because it's critical information for families, and we'll be able to talk about how to best support each other during the fall. So we do want families to be there. If for some reason something happens last minute, I still want our students to jump in because at least you'll get some sort of information. Okay, we're gonna skip the 12th grade slide. We're gonna skip the 11th grade slide. We're gonna land on the 10th grade scheduling slide. When you receive your schedule, so many of you stopped by today to pick up your schedule, you should see 6 classes plus advisory on your schedule. You should have an English class, English 10, a math class, it's probably Math 1 or Math 2 or Accelerated Math 10. Some of you have World History, some of you have AP World History. And if you have AP World History on your schedule, you do have summer homework. There's an email that Mr. Lopez sent out with the Google Code Classroom, so make sure you get that homework done by next Tuesday. You should have biology on your schedule. Most of you have Spanish, Spanish 1 natives, or some of you have Spanish, AP Spanish language. And then right now you see College Prep 10 on your schedule, but that's gonna be changed to Green Ambassador. So as long as you have College Prep on your schedule, you are okay. Now, if you feel like there's a mistake on your schedule, if you feel like we if you see that we have 2 fifth periods for you or 2 first periods, or maybe you're missing a period, go ahead and email Mr. Lopez. Actually, don't email Mr. Lopez, take that back. There's gonna be a schedule change request form that we're sending out tomorrow. So you can go ahead and click on that survey and let us know how we can best support you and update your schedule. So if there's something missing in your schedule, if there's a mistake or you want some support with your schedule, you're gonna be able to fill out the schedule change request form and we will take care of that as soon as possible. Just a little heads up, because we went from 7 classes to 6 classes, we had to take a class out of the schedule. And what we ended up doing is not necessarily removing a class, but we decided to combine Green Ambassadors and College Prep 10. So that's what happened in your schedule. We just combined 2 classes in one, and we made sure that the most critical concepts from Green Ambassadors and the most critical concepts from College Prep 10 still stayed, and you will be able to receive both curriculums in that space. Now, if you, oh, go ahead, Mr. Lopez.
Sorry, Ms. B, I just want to interrupt really quickly. I did answer some questions, so if you are writing in the Q&A, I'm doing my best to keep up with the answers. So keep them coming, and we will update those, and we'll be available at the end to answer some of those questions. And some of them you might see in the slides. I know there was a question regarding tomorrow. So if you're a freshman, 11 to 4 is when you would pick up your textbooks, your Power School, and your schedule. But I also did want to add on the schedule changes. As Ms. B said, don't email me. There is a time, there is that link. I ask that you are patient. This is a hard part for counselors all the time. Like the first 2 weeks, we're super busy. I'm gonna do my best to make the changes. Sometimes students might have like 2 fifth periods because Power School did something a little crazy, or there was just like this miscommunication or something happened. I'm gonna try my best and I'll correct it. But sometimes it does become overwhelming if there's too many students. And right now we're just balancing and doing the final touches. So wait till Friday, and then if it's still not working, I'm gonna ask that you fill out that link that Ms. B just talked about, and we're gonna make sure that you have all the appropriate courses that you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. And if you're a 10th grader and you forgot to pick up your schedule today, or you didn't receive notification in time, please stop by tomorrow from, once again, 10:30 to about 2:30. So we have those 4 hours, 10:30 to 2:30, to pick up your schedule. And I'm pretty sure it's in room 140, and we'll just go find your textbooks and your schedule. So please stop by. It's okay. It's okay that tomorrow our 9th graders are coming onto campus to pick up their schedule, some Power School information, some email information, and any textbooks that they might need for the semester. So if you're a 9th grader listening into this webinar, we will be open from 10:30 to 2:30 tomorrow, and the expectation is that you take about 10 minutes to come onto our campus, and then you just tell us your name. If you're in a car, you're just gonna stay in your car. We'll walk up to your car and we'll ask you for your name, and we'll go ahead and hand you a copy of your paper schedule and whatever textbooks you need for the semester. Now, when you get your schedule tomorrow, make sure that you have 6 classes. My 9th graders, you have 2 math classes for 9th grade. So you'll see 2 periods for math. But for the most part, everyone will be enrolled in English and 2 math periods, ethnic studies for your history class, environmental science for your science class, art, and then you have your advisory on Fridays. If you have any concerns or questions about your schedule, or you see that you have 2 of the same periods, let's say you have 2 English periods, or you have 2 first periods, go ahead and complete the schedule change request form that you will have in your inbox tomorrow, and then give us about a week to make those changes. Mr. Lopez, I think for this one, this is mostly pertains to 11th and 12th grade. But if you did some summer school outside of ECHS, so I'm talking to those folks who were busy this summer doing some credit recovery. If you did some summer school outside of ECHS with an outside organization, please send us your transcripts as soon as possible so that we can update your credits. If you did summer school with us, so let's say you had Ms. Holbert for English, or Ms. Johnson for Math 1, or Ms. Evans for Math 2, that's already taken care of. We already added your credits to your transcript, so you don't have to worry about that. But any summer school that you took care of this summer outside of ECHS, go ahead and send those transcripts over either via email or drop them off in the front office so that Mr. Lopez can add those credits to your transcript. Okay, 2 announcements. We want to go ahead and welcome 2 new staff members onto our staff. We have Ms. Lin Ho, and she is a pre-calculus teacher and a Math 1 teacher. So if you are a 9th grader, Ms. Lin Ho might be your math teacher. We have 2 9th grade Math 1 teachers, and she might be one of your teachers. So once you meet her on Tuesday, go ahead and give her a warm welcome and just show her how much we care about each other and love each other at ECHS. And Mr. James Nim is our physics and environmental science teacher. You won't have him in class. He is actually working with mostly seniors and a few juniors. So once you get to senior year, junior year, you might have Mr. Nim as a physics teacher or environmental science teacher, but go ahead and just, if you happen to see him in a virtual pep rally like this, and you'll know who I'm talking about. And then we also wanted just to announce that one of our counselors, Ms. Lacey Harris, is actually taking an opportunity to develop a college program at a nearby high school. So we're really proud of her for growing and for taking on this challenge. So we're actually saying bye to her as a counselor, but we're still gonna keep her in our community. Once we open up our school, and once we have the Dia de los Muertos events again, and once we have pep rallies, you'll probably see her on campus. So if any of you worked with her, especially in the softball team, or you were in BSU, you might recognize her, you might know who she is. So just giving you a little heads up that she's taking on a different challenge. But no worries, we are also going to welcome a new member to our counseling team really soon. So we got to the end of our major announcements, and we're just gonna keep on answering your questions. So thank you so much for being patient with us. Let's see, we already went over what time you can pick things up tomorrow. So from 10:30 a.m. to about 2:30. Let's see, what else? Okay, so how come we only have 6 classes? Will this affect our credits? There will be an impact in your credits. We made sure that whatever class you didn't have, you didn't take on, it was an elective class and not an A through G class. An A through G class is a class that you need for the college application process. It's a class that you're going to need in order to apply to college your senior year. We made sure to not remove any opportunity for you to take care of those credits. So if we did remove a class, it was a college prep 9 or a college prep 10 class, or an elective period for our 11th and 12th graders. So I wouldn't worry too much about how it affects your graduation credits. We've made sure that it doesn't impact you significantly with that. And a lot of the things that we usually complete in College Prep 9 and College Prep 10 have just been moved into other spaces, like Green Ambassadors or Ethnic Studies. So we're still making sure that if there was something that we were supporting our students with in those 2 classes, that it's still happening somewhere else. What if you're out of town and you're unable to receive a schedule? Yeah, that could be a real concern and a problem. So if you're out of town and you're unable to receive your schedule, please just email us. It's as simple as us copying and pasting your schedule onto an email. So if you're going to be out of town, email us. However, you will miss an opportunity to pick up your textbooks, and that's really important. So call the front office. Call the front office. Tell your family to call the front office. You call the front office, and we'll figure out a way to get you your textbooks. Maybe that means that you pick up your textbooks on Tuesday instead of tomorrow. But we definitely need to make sure that you attend your advisory meeting on Monday. And that just really means you check your email, and you can check your email anywhere. And if you want your schedule and you're logging into PowerSchool and you can't see it, just email us, and Miguel or Mr. Lopez or I will be able to just copy and paste your schedule onto that email.
Ms. B, there's a question about sports. It's asking if there's going to be any sports this year.
Yeah. As of right now, there will be no sports this year. Unfortunately, it's not safe right now for us to be able to say that we can keep you safe and we can keep our staff members safe. So as of right now, there won't be any sports. And to be really honest with my families and our students, there might not be any sports in the spring either. And this is not necessarily an ECHS decision, though we really back it up. This is a decision from the state, from the county, from LAUSD, from the scientists, from health organizations. It is not safe right now to bring on campus or on parks a large group of students. So we will not have sports this year, unfortunately. It's not easy for me to deliver that news, but I know it has to be delivered, and I know that you appreciate my honesty instead of me telling you, I don't know, when I'm pretty sure we're not having sports this year.
Ms. B, I can help you out. I know I got 4 questions on the screen. I can help out, and then
Okay.
if you want to jump in. So the first one I'm looking at there is if there's going to be any new 10th graders. Each year we have new students from each grade level. There are a couple that will be new for grade 10. So we're always excited to welcome and have new students join our school. So yeah, there will be a couple new 10th graders. Those students will have an advisory and the same sequence of courses. So we're excited to have them. The next question says, me and my parent did not receive any emails or announcements. The only email that they received was for this meeting. If you are a new student, if you are like an incoming freshman, we want to make sure that we can get that information. So you want to make sure that you email the office. You can also send me an email. My email will be posted in a couple screens in a moment. But I want to make sure that you have all the information. We want to make sure that we can get you the PowerSchool information, that we have your emergency contact information, and you can pick up your textbooks and your schedule, just as Ms. B just mentioned. So please make sure that you reach out to the office. The other question too says, will having only 6 classes affect us? So as Ms. B said, we have 1 less class. For the 10th graders, it's a combination of College Prep 10 and Green Ambassadors. All of the classes at our school, or most of our classes at our school, other than College Prep 9, College Prep 10, College Prep 11, and Senior Seminar, those are the only classes that don't meet the A through G requirements. All of the other courses that you are enrolled in do meet the 8th degree requirements. The only effect that you'll have is that in college prep, you learn key information on like setting goals, learning about post-secondary options, planning for college, building resumes, practicing for the SAT, college entrance exam. So that's one of the things that that is going to be different this year. But most of our classes at ECHS meet the 8th degree requirements. So as far as your college entrance transcript, like we're going to continue to make sure that you have that and that you're well-rounded when you're applying to schools. I don't know if you wanted to add to that, Ms. B.
No, that was perfect, Mr. Lopez. I see a question here. How are we getting the links for classes? So your advisory teacher will reach out to you and send you a Zoom link for Monday's meeting. The meeting's either going to be at 9 a.m. or at 6 p.m. And in that space, you're going to get access to Zoom links. So you're going to jump in, we're going to take a look at your schedule. Your advisor and you and your family will work together to take a look at your schedule and grab the Zoom links that you need for the rest of the week. Will there be a Spanish version for the advisory meeting? Yes. So when you jump into either the 9 a.m. or the 6 p.m. meeting, you will have two advisors actually sharing that space. One advisor will be an English-speaking advisor and the other advisor will be a Spanish-speaking advisor, and we will be able to separate into different rooms and go through the advisory presentation in English and in Spanish.
I can take the next one, Ms. B. It says, when are we getting our class schedule? As we mentioned earlier, the 10th grade pickup was today. 9th grade pickup is tomorrow from 10:30 to 2:30. So if you haven't received your schedule, please notify the office. I know that they will have some time on Monday, but I just want to make sure that you're communicating with the office so we know when it's available. If it's not today, if you didn't pick it up, or tomorrow. I know that they will be available on Monday, but I just want to make sure that you coordinate that with the office before coming in. Next question says, when are we getting our advisory Zoom link? You're actually going to be getting that from your advisory teacher on Monday. When you meet with your advisory teacher for conference, they're going to give you the links that you'll need so that when school starts on Tuesday, you have the link so you're ready to go by 9 a.m. on Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. We have another question. If you did not get an email saying that you had to go to school today to pick up your textbooks and your schedule, I already know who this is, so we'll work with our school to make sure that those emails are situated. But if you didn't get an email or you're missing out on any of our communication, just call the front office. Call the front office and we'll update our Power School information. We'll update our student group list and just let us know and we'll take care of it from there.
The next question, I only have 5 classes. If you are a freshman, then that is correct. As Ms. B mentioned, math is double blocked, so that counts as 2 periods. For freshmen, they're going to have English, math, again 2 blocks, ethnic studies, environmental science, and art. So it looks like 5, but because math is a double block and you have it Monday to Thursday, then technically it is 6 classes. If you are a 10th grader asking that question, you do have a class missing, make sure that you fill out that form tomorrow, and we'll continue to make changes and updates on schedules so that everyone has the correct number of classes.
Awesome. I see that my friend Amos reminded me that the homework is due on Monday. So thank you, Amos. The homework is due on Monday before you jump into class on Tuesday. So make sure if you're in AP World, you're logged into that Google Classroom and you're handling that homework so that you're ready for class on Tuesday. How do we know that these are all correct classes for our students? So how do we know that our students are getting the correct classes on their schedule? It's a great question. When your students jump into their Green Ambassadors class, if they're 10th graders, or when they jump into ethnic studies, if they're 9th graders, their teacher's gonna take them through their schedule to make sure that they have the right courses on their schedule. If for some reason there's still a question or you're concerned or you're just wondering, feel free to email Mr. Lopez or call the front office and we'll make sure that we schedule an appointment with you to take you through the schedules. Or email you back with some information. But your students will get this information in their live classes with their teachers on Monday and Tuesday. We'll go over their schedules, we'll have them check it out. And if there's any mistake, if there's anything missing, they'll be able to fill out the schedule request form during the week. And also their advisory teachers are really good at checking their schedules. So when you check in with your advisory teacher on Monday for that advisory meeting, that back to school meeting, that's another good opportunity, another space where you can ask some questions and just determine whether your student's schedule is complete and all 6 courses or 5 courses are correct. So the next question is, so we will not miss any high school credits? You're not gonna miss any high school credits. You are okay. And if for some reason we have to keep cutting our schedule for 6 classes instead of 7 classes for the next few years, which I don't think is gonna happen, we will make sure as a school that we change that requirement to make sure that we're fair and that if we provide the students the opportunity to take these courses, we'll make sure that our graduation requirements reflect that. So you don't have to worry about your high school credits. And as of right now, we're missing elective credits, and those credits just add up over the year. So you should be fine. In my 12 years of working at ECHS, I have not seen a student not graduate because of elective credits, because they're missing elective credits. So we're okay with that.
Ms. B, I could take on the next 2 I saw. It says if you didn't pick up your schedule, can you do it on Monday? So they are available on Monday. We just ask that you contact the office and coordinate just so that we make sure that someone is there. We do have like a drive-through process. So I just want to make sure that the textbooks, the laptops, the power school, and your schedule is available. But there is some time on Monday. I just ask that you coordinate with the office before you do that, please. Next question is, can 10th graders take AP Spanish? Yes, but it's based on the recommendation list, based on what your teacher or whether or not your teacher has recommended you to that. So you want to make sure that you reach out to the Spanish teachers. It's not many sophomores that take an AP Spanish class, but that would be based on the teacher's recommendation for you to take a course.
Yeah. Back in the end of 9th grade, you should have received the Spanish placement test in College Prep 9. And that's how we were able to place our students into Spanish 1 natives or Spanish 1 non-natives. And a few of our 9th graders were placed into, a few of our 10th graders were placed into the Spanish language, AP language course. So just talk to Ms. Orozco. She's gonna be your 10th grade Spanish teacher and she'll be able to support you with that. Our community service hours required. We are waiving community service for this semester. Actually, nope, take it back. We're waiving it for the entire year. You do not have to complete community service hours for advisory or as a graduation requirement as of right now. So the 10 hours for this year, we don't have to complete. The 20 hours from this year. So we do 10 hours every semester. So the 20 hours required of community service for this school year will not have to be completed. That means that for advisory, in order for you to get a credit or for advisory or a passing grade, you just have to show up. Just show up to your live Zoom space for 45 minutes on Friday, and that's how you're going to pass advisory this semester. No community service hours required this school year. Can we join clubs this year? Yes, you will be able to join clubs this year. We're gonna try our best to bring back all the clubs that we had on campus and make sure that they are available for our students through a virtual setting like Zoom. So we're gonna bring back BSU, we're gonna bring back Ike, La Raza, and as many clubs as we can possibly bring back on our virtual campus. So yes, we will have clubs and you can join.
Ms. B, I could help you with the next questions. It's just scrolling, so let me go ahead and go back. Ooh.
This is great,
Yeah.
Mr. Lopez. We're having so many questions. Like it's There's a party in here. We have so many people, students attending. This is making me really happy.
Yeah, this question says, will we have to take that elective credit later on? As Ms. P said, we would adjust that. Right now, all of the courses that you're enrolled in meet the A through G requirements. So the only classes that you're missing, for example, would be like the college prep, CP9, CP10. CP10, as we heard earlier, is right now being combined with Green Ambassadors. So right now, you're not missing any credit. As Ms. B said, if there was we needed to in the future, we would adjust that based on the number of credits that you need to graduate. At this time, it's 229, but we definitely adjust that because you are missing that elective credit. College Prep 9 only meets an elective credit and not an A through G elective or college prep elective. So at this time, you're not like missing out on any of that credit.
No, and so when you get to, let's say, 11th grade year or 12th grade year, we will not ask you to go back and take College Prep 9 or College Prep 10. You don't need that. We can go ahead and move forward with your course load. Do classes, it says, so classes start on Monday, and on Monday, we are only going to have an advisory class, correct? School starts on Monday, but you will only go to your advisory meeting. Your advisory meeting will be about an hour and a half long. Okay, so make sure, and I think it's gonna be shorter than an hour and a half, but just to be on the safe side, save an hour and a half. And then once you're done with your advisory meeting at 9 a.m., let's say you finish by 10:30 a.m., then you're done for the day. And then we'll see you on Tuesday for your 3 live classes. Okay, so we got more questions about community service hours. I'm glad we answered those. Once we come back onto campus and once we're able to safely say, hey, we can go out there and complete these hours, and we'll have that requirement again. But right now, we're just gonna put a pause on community service hours. We have a question here. Will we be able to pick up schedules and textbooks tomorrow? Yes, 9th graders, please come on by 10:30 to about 2:30 tomorrow. If you're a 10th grader that wasn't able to pick up your schedule and your textbooks today, go ahead and come on by too, and we'll hook you up with your schedule.
Yeah, and there's a question too on the Q&A about not receiving information. If you are a new student or a parent, we're just gonna ask that you communicate with the office. We've been sending out emails and information. And again, we wanna make sure that we have all of your information, your enrollment packet, and that we can get your student the schedule, the textbooks, and the laptop. So if you're not receiving that, please reach out to our office and we'll make sure that we get that information to you.
Awesome.
Another one is, what is Green Ambassadors? That's an awesome class taught by a wonderful teacher, Mrs. Betsy Rivera Bautista. It's a class that meets the A through G requirement for college prep elective. It's a 10th grade class where you learn about sustainability, where you learn about like the earth and how to like practice and conserve and really learn ways to like make our earth a better and healthier place. And it's taught by one of our coolest teachers, a lot of fun in there. Again, 10th grade class, college prep elective course. And again, it's based on sustainability practices and what we can do to conserve our earth.
Awesome, thank you, Mr. Lopez. We're gonna do about 10 more minutes of answering questions. We have about 20 more questions to go, but we're gonna try to do this for about 10 more minutes, okay? Will we be able to apply to clubs? Yes. When will we be able to? So once the school year gets started and once we get our students into their virtual seats, and we'll be able to schedule out some clubs for you. So give us about the 3rd week of school. The 3rd week of school, we'll be able to tell you when the clubs are happening so that you can jump right in. When will the school start giving out food? So right now, Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings, from about 8 o'clock in the morning to about 11. If you want to come pick up some lunches, you can drive on by and we have them set up in the parking lot so that if you wanted to pick up some food on Monday mornings and Wednesday morning, we're handing out food for families.
There's a question on the school IDs. Because our campus is currently closed and the IDs are made through picture day, I think that's going to be a little bit different this year. Maybe Ms. B could add, but I think that the IDs for this year is going to be a lot different just because our school is closed and that would require to come on campus and take a picture. So we're going to be creative with that, and I think it's going to be a little bit different. So I don't know if you've heard different, Ms. B, what that's going to look like this year.
Yeah, our upperclassmen, our 11th and 12th graders also were very concerned about IDs. So we're working on a plan to make sure that all of our students receive IDs for this school year. I know that some of you use them for identification outside of ECHS purposes. So as of right now, we're working on a plan to safely bring on some 9th graders onto campus, a couple at a time, so that we can do take a school picture and be able to apply that school picture onto an ID. And we're trying to see how we're going to navigate the 10th through 12th grade IDs. Our best plan right now is to use the same pictures that you had last year. That is our best plan. So I know some of you have different hairstyles, different hairdos, you've grown, you've stretched, but that's our best plan right now. But if we do get you an ID, we'll probably get you an ID with last year's picture. I doubt that we'll be able to bring onto campus 10th through 12th graders, but we're going to prioritize 9th graders first, and then we'll see what we can do with the rest of our student body. Hold tight on that because we're trying to figure that out. We're still trying to figure that out.
There's a question.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Mr. Lopez.
No, go ahead. I'll come in after.
No. Okay. Do we have to wear uniforms for Zoom classes? That's a great question. Do we have to wear uniforms for Zoom classes? No, definitely not. Just make sure you're wearing clothes. Make sure that you have a shirt on. Make sure that you have bottoms on. If you wanted to wear a hat, awesome. If you want to wear your sunglasses, great. But no need for uniforms. If you wanted to wear your gym clothes, awesome. If you wanted to wear PJs, great. Be comfortable. No need to wear your uniform for this year. Do you have to attend both meetings on Monday? Nope. Just go ahead and attend one, either the 9 a.m. meeting or the 6 p.m. meeting.
There's also a question on school supplies. The most important thing right now is if you don't have a laptop, please make sure that you get one from our school. And if you have a sibling that's a high school student that attends our school too, we're gonna ask that you everybody have a laptop. So if you have a brother or a sister, we're gonna ask that each has a laptop because you are going to use it. That's probably one of the most important things that you wanna make sure that you have. And of course, a writing utensil or notes. But if you have a computer and you're able to Zoom and jump on a Zoom call, I think that's the most important thing. And again, I just want to make sure that if you have a sibling, that each sibling or each person should have a laptop just so that we're not sharing and that you can both be on a Zoom call at different times or at the same time. So that's probably the most important thing as far as school supplies.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. When do we think we're going to be able to come back to school on campus? Once again, we don't know, but for sure, we know that we're going to do the fall semester online. So we're going to take our fall classes online and we're going to jump into Zoom live classes for the rest of this semester. We will most likely continue doing that in the spring, just to be really honest and really transparent with our families that are watching and our students. We're most likely going to continue this live learning Zoom, leaning on the Zoom platform for spring classes. We're basing our decision on what's safest for our staff, for our students, our families. We're going off of what the scientists are saying. We're going off of what the health organizations are advising. We're following LAUSD's decisions as well, since they're the biggest district in LA and in California. So as of right now, it is not safe to come back to school, and it probably won't be safe to come back to school in the spring. But we promise that as soon as we hear more information or we get more guidelines from the experts, we will inform our families and our students as soon as possible. I know that when I heard that, I got really sad because I miss our campus. I miss our students. I miss all of our staff gathering together and supporting each other. I miss our pep rallies. So it did make me a little sad. So if what I just said makes you a little sad, it is okay. But we're gonna try our best to be in community. And that's why we decided to do live classes this fall so that we can still have opportunities to interact with one another, to learn with one another, to see each other, to laugh, to smile. You won't be muted with your live classes on Tuesday. You will be able to see each other. I know right now that I can't see you, but you can see me. That's not going to be the case on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In your real classes, you're actually going to be able to interact with each other, one another. So that makes me really excited that we can at least offer that for our students and our teachers.
Just gonna do a quick time check, everyone. It's 4:58, so Miss B and I will be answering a couple more questions for the next 2 or 3 minutes. So we're gonna try and get through as many as we can. I just wanted to add too that also goes to the question of the camping trip. Most of our camping trips are in the fall, the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. I think only the senior trip was at the end of the school year. But just as Miss B said right now, based on the uncertainty, based on us following LOUSD, right now, there are no camping trips planned for this school year, and that's unfortunate because one of the cool things that we do at our school is the outdoor ed trips each year. So again, because of us following the experts' advice and making sure that everyone is safe, there are no camping trips planned for this academic school year.
Mr. Lopez, we're going to continue answering questions. We have about 20 more questions to answer, and we're going to stay on here until we answer them all. Don't worry about that. But for those of you who are in a time crunch and you want to say goodbye, that is completely okay. This is a good space. This is a good time to be able to just say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us for the last hour. Really appreciate how many of you showed up. I really appreciate the families, the students, and this is really exciting that we're still able to do this for each other during a time during this kind of time, right, that we're living. So if you want to jump off, that is okay. We will continue answering questions either through advisory on Monday or throughout the week. But for those of you who want to stay on, we will continue answering questions live until we get through them all. So no pressure to stay on, but we will continue answering these questions. The next one is, what are the AP classes of what are all the AP classes available to 10th graders? So right now, we offer AP World History. So a student can choose to take AP World History or World History. And then for Spanish, we do offer their first year of Spanish, so Spanish 1 or Spanish 1 natives. However, some students have probably taken Spanish in middle school or through a community college. So if that's the case, then we're able to also place them into AP Spanish language. But we're asking students to jump into Spanish 1 or Spanish 1 natives for the first week of school. And then our teacher, Miss Orozco, is able to support students in case they need to be moved into the AP Spanish language class. When you get to 11th grade, then you'll have more opportunities to take AP classes such as AP US History and AP Environmental Science. And then in 12th grade, you have AP Calculus that you can take, an AP Spanish Lit. But for 10th grade, it's AP World. Are we going to have intercession? Dun, 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 dun. We are not going to have intercession. I know a lot of you are disappointed over there. We're not having intercession this year. We're going to continue on with our semester 2. So our first semester will end on about December 15th, 16th, and then we will go off on winter break for 3 weeks. And when we return in January, we will jump right into semester 2. So no intercession this year. Can my parent attend the advisory meeting from their work while I attend from home? Definitely. Those are one of the beautiful things about having Zoom links. If you wanted to attend from your front yard, from work, from home, from your cousin's house, you can definitely jump in wherever you're at. So thank you so much for problem solving that one. 9th graders can come and pick up their schedule tomorrow at 10:30. However, if you have to come a little bit earlier, that's perfectly okay. We are open We open at 8 a.m. and Miguel will be able to assist you if you have to come a little bit earlier. That's not a problem at all. For tomorrow, do we have to get out of the car and grab our books? How does it work? You do not have to get out of the car. Actually, we ask you to stay inside your car. And we have some of our staff walking up to your car, like if you were in an in and out drive-through order line and they come to your car and they ask you for your name, they run back to the table, grab your schedule, your textbooks, and then walk it back up to your car. So you do not have to get out of your car.
Yes, B, I could help you out a little bit, give you a little break. So there was a question on the AP homework. I just put in Mr. Hua's email address on there. If you weren't able to access, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to Mr. Hua. It is due on Tuesday, so I just want to make sure that you're able to communicate that with Mr. Hua. I did provide his email, and again, encourage you to reach out to Mr. Hua to notify him of that information. So,
do you have to have your cameras on during the school day? So when you're in a live class with your teachers, we're asking you that you try to have your cameras on as much as possible. The reason for that is, imagine if we were in this webinar and I had my camera off this entire time. I think it would be really hard for you to stay engaged and to pay attention and to feel like you're part of a community. So we're gonna ask our students to have their cameras on as much as they can. However, like, you do have flexibility to go ahead and turn off your camera if you're eating your Cheerios and you drop your milk and you made a mess and you're just like, oh, I don't want anyone to see that. You can totally turn off your camera. If you have to go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen for anything, you can totally turn off your camera. If something's happening in the background and you're just like, no, I don't want people to see this, you can turn off your camera. That's perfectly fine. We trust our students that you'll make the best decisions. But we just really ask that you consider that we're doing this together. Your teacher's going to be facilitating the space, and your teacher's going to want to see your faces. And it's really helpful when we are able to see your faces, because I like, for example, I can see if you're following along with us, if you're having a good time, if you're just like, okay, I get this, can we move on to the next thing? You can give me thumbs up, middle, down. So it also really helps that we're able to see you live with the camera on. So you'll have more conversations with your teachers about this next week. However, just to give you a very straightforward answer right now, yeah, we're gonna ask you to try your best to keep cameras on, though we understand that there might be times where you just have to turn the camera off, and that's okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? What if we failed a summer school class? That's a really good question. If you took summer school with ECHS and you failed the summer school class, it's okay. We just ended up enrolling you in the class that you need to make up that credit. So some of you might have taken Math 1 summer school. And if you weren't able to get that credit, you're back in Math 1 for this year so that you can get that credit and move on to the next level of math the following school year. There were some cases where the teacher was able to determine that, okay, the student will probably be successful in the next level of math, and we were able to move them forward, but that still means that you have to go back and retake that credit in the future. But if you failed the summer school class, it's okay. You're just gonna jump back into the same class this fall and take another stab at it and try it out again. But if for some reason you think that there's a mistake with your schedule, or you have any concerns, just go ahead and email Mr. Lopez and he'll be able to help you out. If we're having trouble logging onto our Zoom classes, will we be marked late or absent? That is a great question. If you're having trouble logging into your Zoom classes, let's say the internet connectivity is not strong, when you're having some issues, please call the front office as soon as that's happening so that we can mark you as excused for the moment. And we know that something's going on and we can support you with the internet. In some cases, we ask students to come to campus or families to come to campus and pick up some hotspots that are available for you to take home in case this is an issue that's coming up regularly. But if you're having issues with logging on, just call the front office and let us know what's going on, and then we will be able to mark you as excuse.
Ms. B, there was some questions that I was able to answer on an individual basis. So I did answer some of those. So I wanted to, just to support you too. I see a new question that came up on how we communicate with our friends at lunch. That's a great, great question. I think right now, because we have so many awesome tools and technology, I'm going to encourage you to be creative, not only through your phone and FaceTime and social media platforms, but in advisory, you're going to actually learn about some really cool icebreakers, some really cool activities that you can do. So I think at lunch, when you have that break, like it could be a phone call, a text message. I'm gonna encourage you to like meet new people, be open to learn, new stories, and just socialize as best as you can through this social distance learning, and just like be open. Like I'm willing to learn about new things, but also like explore, like do a Google search and say like, what are some cool things that I can do to meet new people or to do with friends. And I guarantee you're gonna find some really cool things. During advisory, you're gonna learn and play some really fun games that you can share with your friends and your classmates.
How will they be able to catch up with community service hours if we return back to school? That's a great question. So when we return back to school, when, let's say we return next fall, that means that we would not have completed a whole year's worth of community service hours. It's 20 hours. We would just change the graduation requirement from 80 to 60 hours. And we wouldn't require students to catch up with those community service hours. So when we return, you'll be able to see that those community service hours the graduation requirement will be changed to reflect this time. So if, for example, we come back once again a year from now, then instead of the 80 hours that students have to complete, that will be shifted, changed to 60 hours.
Ms. B, I could take on a couple of these questions. So some new questions say like, what can I do if I can't pick up my my schedule tomorrow or on Monday? I would definitely make sure that I reach out to the front office, make sure that they're aware of that, because on Tuesday for first day of classes, you are going to need to know your schedule. You're also going to need to have a laptop and your textbooks. You'll need those soon. So just communicate with the office and we can coordinate, and maybe we can get you that electronically, but we want to make sure that on Tuesday you're ready to go and know what sequence of courses that you'll be in. There's a question that was on there on honors English. We do not have honors English at our school that are available for 9th and 10th grade. Ms. B, did you want to add a little bit on that? Our classes do meet the A through G requirement, so we don't have honors. So they get the same points or get that credit for A through G requirement courses, but no honors for grades 9 and 10.
Yeah, no honors English for actually 11th and 12th grade as well. So we do not offer honors English on our campus. Does it affect college application process? It doesn't. Colleges know that we don't offer honors English, so it doesn't impact our students in a negative way. However, we do have our students complete the senior thesis project. The senior thesis project is a very exciting project that our students take on at the end of the 11th grade year and throughout their 12th grade year. And this paper, this thesis, is very similar to a college level paper that they would see on a college campus. So we take them through that process so that by the time they get to their college campus, they have a better idea as to how to navigate these college prompts that they will receive once they are in college. Wouldn't it be, okay, so for community service hours, yes. So if you're currently a 10th grader, let's say last semester, you were only required to complete 10 hours of community service for the fall. And then in the spring, we had to close down. So yes, if you are a incoming 10th grader right now, a rising 10th grader, you should only have about 10 hours of community service required. And if we're gonna waive these the hours for this year, that's 30 hours that we're waiving. So it would be 50 hours of community service that you would need in order to complete the graduation requirement.
I want to go ahead and answer the question too on math. It's asking if you'll tell us what math we will be in. So if you are a freshman and you were in summer bridge, you took a math placement exam. That test determines what math you are in. For freshmen, there are two math. There's an integrated math 1 and there's an accelerated math course. If you are a 10th grader, it's the same thing based on how you did during your first year with us. Your math teacher recommends you to the next course. So it could be integrated math 2, or it could be an accelerated math 10 class. It just depends on how you did. And if you're a new student, the placement exam tells us that. And if you haven't taken that, that is something that we would want you to schedule so that we can assess you and make sure that you're in the right math class. But again, it's based on the recommendation of our math teachers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez. And then we just have 3 questions left. When will sports be back? I don't know. I do not know when sports will be back. As of right now, this fall, we will not have sports because it is not currently safe to have sports. We probably won't have sports in the spring, but if we hear otherwise, then we will definitely report back out to our families and community. But it doesn't seem like we're going to have sports this year.
I can answer that question. It says the code to join classes. So that's why it's important on Monday that you are attend conferences. Again, there's 2 sessions, the 9 a.m. one or the 6 p.m. one. You only have to join one. But when you get your schedule, you'll get the information from the advisory teacher and you'll get that Zoom link so that you can start on Tuesday at 9 a.m. And that you'll be able to coordinate your sequence of classes, but that will be given to you on Monday again during parent conferences with your advisory teacher.
Awesome. If you have on your schedule an SAI class or a critical analysis class on your schedule, that just means that you're working with Mr. Fuentes as a 9th or 10th grader, or you're working with Ms. Horowitz as a 9th or 10th grader. And so if you have those classes on your schedule, you will be able to meet your teachers on Tuesday and they will go ahead and let you know what that class is all about. For Ms. Horowitz, critical analysis, it's basically a class where you get additional support with the English language. And then if you are in SAI, that just means that you have an IEP, and then on your IEP, it is required that you are in that course. So if you have any more questions about critical analysis or critical reading or SAI, just go ahead and talk to those teachers on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they'll be able to give you more information.
The last question says, if you're having trouble logging on to Zoom, will you be marked late or absent? So if you get logged off for any reason, I'm gonna ask if Ms. B can go to slide or just move a couple slides forward. There are some numbers, a couple more. Next slide. That is the office number. So I'm gonna ask you to use it. There it is on the top, last slide, the 310-214. It was a slide you were just on.
There it is.
Contact the office, but once you're there, we do know that internet is not perfect or technology is not perfect for any reason. If you get knocked off, you can go ahead and go back to the same Zoom link, and the teacher will be able to get you back into that. And if you're still having trouble, just let the office know, and then we'll coordinate. We'll let the teacher know so that they don't mark you tardy or absent. We do ask that students stay the whole duration of the class. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. And if they're having any technical problems, again, they can call the office and we'll make sure that they're allowed back into that class or that space.
Awesome. Ms. Kyle, we have a question here. What's a 504 plan?
Oh, thank you. A 504 plan is a plan that if you need some extra supports because you have an issue like a physical issue that's going on, or a mental or emotional issue that's going on that gets in the way of you, of your learning or being able to learn. So yeah, if you have something like that, if you don't have a 504 plan, if you've never heard of that and you don't have one, you don't have to worry about that. If you do have one and you haven't let me or the office know, please reach out so that we can give you all the supports that you need. Okay. Thanks for that question.
All right, Ms. Kyle, Mr. Lopez, and everyone still out there. We made it to the end. So thank you to the 40 participants that are still out there with us. Thank you for being so loyal and staying all the way to the very end. I hope we were able to answer all of your questions. We appreciate you so much. And we can't wait to see you in live spaces on Monday and for the rest of the fall semester. So thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, I want to echo that and say, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. And also, I want to appreciate Ms. Manuelos and Ms. Kyle for doing an amazing job in presenting. And again, I want to echo what Ms. B just said, and I can't wait to meet you all and work with you. So have a good night, everyone.